Peace,
Bro,
family. I am Brother Omar. Welcome to the Guys Podcast. I'm here with my brother
what's
Akhtar
good, bro?
Muhammad. That's my guy. What's
Cool,
happening,
bro. How's
man?
everything? How you feeling?
Can't, can't complain, good brother. You're all right. How's the day?
Chilling,
Good.
bro. Same shit. Different day. How's everything?
Yes, sir. Can't complain, family. Slow motion. We moving,
So, yo, I
fam.
like this topic that you was telling me about. I was like, yo, oh, we got to do this. We have to do this shit.
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
you know, we were talking about it, and I was like, oh, you got to present this. So, I mean,
1,000%. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's an important topic, right?
uh,
With the mass incarceration rate so high, and it's filled up with the jails filled up with over 70% of black men, and one out of every three black men predicted to be incarcerated by the age of, I think it's
mhm.
25. I believe. I think it might be less, but 25, and with children in gangs and things like that, and um, just running the streets, and we have a lot of YNs now and things like that. I think we have to ask the question: um, do black women really love their children? And the reason I'm asking this is because you know the black man is really not present in the household, right? So 80% of black women are raising their children in the household by themselves. So if they're doing most of the work, we have to ask, if these children are ending up in this type of situation, do they really love their children? What do you think,
that's
bro?
a deep question. But you know what though? It's questions like this, at how controversial it may be. These are the kind of questions that we need to ask because no one else is really asking this shit. And I think um, a lot of times the questions are so powerful and it may, fuck sometimes we have to put the criticism where we have to put it. I don't think that they do, bro. I don't think that they love their children. For one,
Yeah,
they're not picking the right kind of men to have children with, right? Number two is we all know, according to the data and statistics, black fathers are the most involved fathers. So a lot has been left out. There's a lot of information that's not, talked about. And then when you look at single parent households and the contributing factors to degeneracy, um, with regards to the youth, gang activity, high incarceration rate, illiteracy, dropouts, committing acts of violence, most of those kids come from single parent households.
right.
So we got to talk about this, bro. We have to.
Right.
And then also too, you got to think about um, how hard sometimes it is for those fathers to be a part of those children's lives, and how difficult black women make it. Not all, but a considerable amount. How they make
Right.
it for fathers to be a part of their children's lives.
1,000%.
It's,
Yeah, man.
oh, where you want to start?
I think when you start on these kind of things, you have to always. I think with anything, you always have to start at the beginning, right? So I have to ask myself. I asked myself this. I said, the only way you would know if the woman really loves her child is if first we find out why she had that child, right? Why she kept that child. So I think a lot of women, and I've heard women
But
say this
I
too.
didn't want to forget. I'm sorry to cut you off, bro. Also, black women lead in abortions as far as how many, right? How many abortions are taking place? Look at the numbers. It
Right,
seems to be all
right.
negative numbers and statistics point towards our community, especially our black
That is a
women. But
fact.
I apologize. I just didn't want to forget that. But yeah,
Nah, nah, that's important, right? But I always start with the beginning. I have to ask myself why. Well, I think even before that, we have to ask them the type of men that they're laying down with. For one, right? They're getting sexually involved with, because we know sex leads to children. Then two, we have to ask ourselves, why are they keeping these children if they're not in a relationship or they're not married, right? So a lot of women, I come to find out, they say, you know, after committing the act of sex, I hear, oh, and I'm not promoting abortions, right? But I'm just saying they would say, oh, aborting a child is a sin. I'm like, you laid down with that man. That was a sin in the first place, right? You weren't married, right? So that throws that out the window. But then they say, I want somebody to love me back. or I want somebody to love me unconditionally. Anytime you want somebody or you want something for a vain reason like that, it goes to show how selfish you are, right? So if you want a child just to be here to love you and not for what you can give to that child in order to better another generation, that's automatically selfish. And if you're selfish, you can't really love somebody. You get what I'm saying? Because everything is strictly for you. And I think a lot of women are having children selfishly, whether it's to keep a man, whether it's to have a child love them, whether it's just to feel whatever they're feeling or whatever they want to tell themselves. If it's for a vain reason, we know that they did not have that child out of love. They had it out of necessity or
Mhm.
spite. You know what I mean? And that's not fair to the child, right? Because you can never truly do for the child the way you want to do for the child, and then you have to say, what is love, right? It's funny. I heard Mr. Farrakhan say the Holy Quran says the love in there about, I forgot how many times, but it's a low amount. But it says duty like 100 and something times, right? So really, love is duty, and we have to ask ourselves: are these women really doing right by these children, especially not allowing the man to be in the child's life, right? Or just for the simple fact of picking the wrong man to be in this child's life. If you lay down with Tyrone and you know he was about nothing, then do you really love the child that you're bringing into this world? Because that's another version of Tyrone. You get what I'm saying? You have to help to push this child into the next generation. You're sending that child into society to be what? To do what? So I think that's a big problem, right? Um, and then lastly, I'll say this: with fathers being the most involved, black fathers being the most involved, but they're having the most trouble being there for their child, something isn't adding up. You know what I mean? You can't, the math isn't mathing. If the black fathers are the most involved, so it goes to show that they're making a conscious effort to be in their children's lives, and these women are not allowing it for whatever selfish reason. Once you start one way, it's going to end one way. So if it started selfishly, it's going to be that way throughout the whole time.
Facts. I think we have to look at first, like you said, who are these women choosing to have kids with? Who's
Yeah,
guiding their decision making and helping them pick the right man? Most women are having kids out of wedlock because that's what they've seen growing up. Their aunties had kids out of wedlock. Their mother had kids out of
right.
wedlock. Their grandmother. So you're gonna repeat what you see. That's all you know. Also, too, having kids with a purpose. When you are married, you tend to have kids. You tend to be in positions where you're having children with a purpose. A lot of times, these women have more than one baby father, still out dating, seeking new relationships, not understanding that you know you have to date. Well, actually, when you get with someone, it's with a purpose. It's not about feelings. It's not about just physical attractions. It's marry, carry with the purpose, duty, and responsibility. And we don't see that in our community because there's no discipline. Also, too, um, you have to understand that if women understand that within the black community, single mother, the single mother uh, situations that we see creates a destructive community. Why are they repeating that process? You see things happen before you, crash and burn. Why would you continue to repeat what you've seen fail? So there's a lot. But also too, you have to understand too is that a lot of these women are having kids also with men like you said who have kids already, men who they know aren't productive, responsible men, and they still choose to have these kids at a time where there's more contraceptives now than ever, right? There's birth control in many different forms. You have patches, you have pills, you have injections, you have implantable devices, you have apps to manage your cycle, condoms, and then you have abstinence. So like, there's no fucking
Facts.
reason like to have kids with a man that you don't see a future with. There's no reason. Or why not just practice abstinence, or at least wear a condom?
1000%. I agree with you 100%. I think you said something that was real good. Like the men that they're choosing to have these children with, right? And I think that even goes back to the beginning of a point that I even missed. You can't love yourself if you letting anybody smash, right? Like you can't love yourself if you letting anybody into you like that, right? So it goes to show that you can't love that
Not
kid. You can't love that child.
smash is one thing. You're letting a man ejaculate inside of you.
No, no, I
Yeah,
get it, but think about it, right? Because we know sex is a good chance is going to lead to
yeah.
children, right? So you laid down, you took the chance to lay down with this man that you might
Mm-hmm.
reproduce, and then you let him splash in
Mm-hmm.
you, right? Then you had no condom on, and then you let him ejaculate and splash in you,
Crazy,
right?
crazy.
And then you decided to have his child. That goes to show you don't love him, you don't even love yourself. So you can't love that kid because you're the first source of the love for the child. It's coming from you, though. You can't treat anybody any better than how you would treat yourself. So if you didn't love yourself and you let that man who you had no ties to or who just spit some nice ism to you splash and or smash, and then you have his child.
Ejaculate and evacuate.
In facts, my pops used to say, "Pop it, flop it, and drop it." You can't do that.
Crazy.
And then you're gonna blame the man and say he's no
And
good or he doesn't take care of his
first
child.
thing
You knew that.
oh, the first thing that they do is when they have kids with these guys who aren't becoming what a real man is, they'll go out there and they'll shame him and they'll say negative things about him. But why would you even put yourself in a position to where is that you would have to say negative things about the father of your kid if you knew he didn't have any potential?
Facts.
You
Facts.
know,
You know, it was something. It just crossed. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
I'm sorry.
I said it just crossed my mind. Right, like two things. My grandmother, after her husband died, right? Yo, I never saw my grandmother with a man in my life. I never. She went to the church after that. I never saw another man come around. You know what I'm saying? She only entertained friends, and it was men and women. But I never seen anybody flirt with my grandmother. It was that respectable, and that respectful. You get what I'm saying? And my mother, I think after my father, that was like early '90s. She had probably had like two boyfriends that I've seen. You know what I'm saying? But with I never seen anybody disrespect my mom's. I never seen her flirting with men. I never seen it in my like. I've never seen it. You know what I mean? So when I see these women nowadays and they flirting with Tyrone on the job, right? This just a job or the dude that's walking by in the street. You let everyone have access to you. You can't have love for yourself.
There's no way.
You can't.
There's no way because
You can't.
they look at dating and romance as like a sport now.
Yeah, facts.
Sport is nothing meaningful, right? Even if at the very least, right? Like say worst come to worst and you get a divorce, at least you know that the man that you had children and married is a responsible man of self-respect with integrity. To where that you understand he's going to always be a good father and take care of his kids. But even the deadbeat guys that they say is deadbeats, I want to talk to these fucking guys because I don't believe half of that shit, bro. I don't
Facts.
believe it because we only hear the woman's side of the story.
Only hear the woman's
It's
side, bro.
always the fathers who are the best fathers, the ones who get destroyed the most. Think about it. If you're a real deadbeat and you tell that man he can't see his kids, he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. He's like, don't threaten him with a good time. Like
Right.
if I'm a deadbeat, if I'm a bad father, I'm not gonna go to court. I'm gonna just dip and ghost. Why would I even try? So it's the fathers who care, who have emotions involved, that have real serious love for their children are the ones that get destroyed the most. And then
Yeah,
these
yeah.
men are used as fucking the kids used as leverage. It's
Facts.
crazy.
And I say this too, right? Because I have my son or whatever, right? And well, I don't have him with me, but he lives with his mom. But I have a son, and I'll say this, right? His mother cares for him, right? Cares for him a lot. But I'm not gonna say like she does things subconsciously, and this is not to knock at all, but she would do things subconsciously that's that will hinder us from being as close as we could be, right? And I think it's just from social programming, right? Like they think it's I gotta nurture him so much, I gotta keep him so tight. No, it's let that father discipline that child the way he's supposed to discipline him, and stop trying to keep him safe. This is a man that's going out into the world. You know what I mean? So If you really love your child, the biggest sign I think of a woman not loving her child is not allowing that man to be the father that that man is trying to be to that child. Not saying that's my situation. I'm just saying in general because we see that a
Yeah,
lot, right? Letting that man be a father to that child, right? And a lot of these men, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I'm not even into the. If it were me, I'm not fighting you for the child because I know if I get a certain way, I'm airing shit out, right?
yeah,
Like, so I
yo,
don't
no,
even want to see
funny
my.
yo, that's the next step. Like sometimes the situations that women put fathers the child with their fathers in, bro, is very dangerous because you're playing with us. Like I saw this fucking video. I wanted to play it, bro. I saw this video today on TikTok where the guy came to pick up his child and the mother was not letting the child go. Then the
Yeah,
stepfather, I don't even know if he was a stepfather, just a guy dating the mother. Listen, bro, he picked the baby up and
no, no, man.
okay, I gotta play this video. Oh,
I gotta air it out.
yo, keep talking. I'm gonna find this video.
Listen, and
I gotta
this is what I'm saying, right?
nah,
This is what I'm saying, right? Like,
play this video.
yo, I know myself, right? So if I'm fighting you for my child and you're keeping him from me and I can't get him and I know the system is made to be on your side, yo, you gotta go, right? So my thing is this, and I know myself. So my thing is this: I'll throw my hands up and be like, you know what, handle it the way you need to handle it, because at the end of the day, for me to go that route, the mother would suffer because she's not going to be here. I'm going to suffer because I'm going to be in jail, and the child will suffer even more because he's not going to have either one of us, right? Or she's not going to have either one of us.
Great.
So I got to say that sometimes as a father, you, instead of fighting, you got to be the bad guy and say, you know what, I'm going to take the L for the long run for this child to grow up and have a decent life because I'm about to kill everybody. You get what I'm saying? And I know that'll be me. I don't have a medium like that when it come to my son. You know what I mean? I
Scary out
would
here, bro.
I would air that whole shit out.
Oh, it's scary out here. I want to show you.
Yeah, it's bad
Yeah, I
business.
gotta show you this video, bro. So like, yeah, bro.
Yeah, I need to see.
Yo, I'm gonna play it for you. Hold on. But yeah, but bro, it's like they'll put you in situations to where is that they'll have a new man in their life, and that new man has more say so over your child than you. What,
Yo,
so it's like, what do you? It's like you want me to do something irrational so I can have my freedom
yeah.
taken away. So
So that's why I step back.
what?
I would step back, fam, because I'm killing everybody catching it.
Oh, it's scary. Oh,
And then as a man, right, when you on the other side, you know not to be picking up no next man child in front of him like that. You
I would
crazy?
do that. Oh,
You crazy?
yo, I wouldn't even do that. I would be super respectful,
I
and
would.
humble, like super respectful and humble. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm like, what are you hoping to gain? Like, what do you think I'm gonna do by you doing this?
yeah. Like sometimes you just got to you got to play the villain, man. Let them call you a deadbeat, let them call you all of that.
And
But I'm really saving everybody's life right now.
facts. And you know what's so crazy? Oh, it's like with those situations, a father is so important. You know, in terms of having a daughter, she's the first man. You set the example for her.
Facts.
How she's treated by other men, what she accepts, what she doesn't accept, it all comes from the foundation of the father. Then we all know no one could raise a young man but a man. Women don't understand what it is to be a man in this world. So how the fuck can you raise
Yeah,
a boy to
yeah,
become a man? Like,
yeah. I
part
see
of
some
it is
shit.
being humble and understanding. You know what? Even though we didn't work out, ideally you want to be married, but let me allow it. Caught it even with statistics, how it's presented, understanding that two-parent households is much better than kids. Let me take it a step further. Single-parent fathers do better at raising children than single-parent mothers,
Facts.
according to data.
And I believe this too, bro. I think once it's between the ages of 4 and 6, if the parents aren't together,
Mhm.
and that child is a boy, I think you should give that child to the father. Let that father raise that child because that nurturing phase is over, bro. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying you're not going to have nurturing times, but that nurturing phase, it's a wrap.
Bro, I agree wholeheartedly, bro. I agree. There's a
Yeah,
guy
give them baby.
on Instagram. He has a this post saying it's illegal. How it's illegal to be a father in America right now. When you're not married to the mother, when you're not married to the mother, you have no basically you have no fucking rights.
Facts.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
That's a good ass fucking statement.
It's crazy. Well, I gotta find this video. I don't know what happened to this video, but
Yeah.
so do they love their children? I don't think they do subconsciously. I think they love themselves
Yeah.
more. I think they love what they want more than a child. It's just like when they're in marriages and they get divorced. They divorce for irreconcilable differences, right? Nothing more than they're not happy anymore. It all goes back to their happiness, fulfilling their emotions, not what's best for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. And if you're
I'm sorry, bro. What was that?
not there, go get you.
This lawyer, he's a lawyer that specializes in family court law. He only represents fathers, and he takes a pay cut because he's seen a lot of
Mm,
men go through it. Men, self-deleting themselves and just lose
mm,
everything. He said, so they asked, they said, why do you only represent men? He said, because a man will come with a brown paper bag with all the money he has, like $5,000, and say, hey, please represent me. I just want to have I
mm,
just want to have some access to see I just want to have access to my kid. He said when
mm,
he was representing moms, it's I want to ruin him. I want to fuck him over. That girl, I want to make her pay. I want him on alimony. I want him on child support. Like he was just hearing how when women come in, how they say
yeah.
they want
The motive.
everything. With the father's just like, yo, I just want to see my kid. Like it's crazy,
The motive. The motive is crazy.
nasty work, bro. Nasty.
Yeah, man. It goes to show you, man. If it's not for if they're not doing what, like you said, was better, the betterment for everyone, then they're not really. They're not. They don't. You can't love your child if you're not really looking out for them. You're looking out for what you want. You can't love them. You can't. It just shows right there, bro.
So my thing is the solution is we gotta marry before we carry. We have to have
Yep.
family involved in the decision making process um,
Yep.
before we start.
Fact.
Before we get into relationships, we need to have other people who really don't have any emotions that can evaluate our potential love interests um, and see what kind of fit they would be. I think we need more elders in the community, creating marriages for the youth. And I think we have to
Facts.
instill the understanding of marriage is about purpose, duty, and a responsibility to create a healthy, functional nuclear family for support of both and most importantly, the children.
I think you're 100%. And to add to that, the cornerstone to every community and every nation is family. So if you want to progress as a community, you want to progress as a nation, you have to marry, you have to be in family. And let's say the family falls apart, you have to be able to do what's good for everyone, particularly the child.
Have to, bro. Have to.
Yeah.
Um,
And lastly, I always say this too, right? I'll stress this is not to knock the woman. This is just to point out the obvious or point out the problem so we could come up with a solution so we can do better. If women would do better, we would help them do better, right? So if you would make a good decision to let that child be with his father, we will take those children. These black men want their children.
Facts.
You know what I mean? They want to be there for their children. It's all right. You still gonna get credit for loving that child. You still gonna get credit for raising them, but you can't do what that man can do. That's it.
I think that's what it is too, bro. They want credit. They want the praise. I don't give a fuck about that. I just want my kids to be healthy, and I want them to be in the best position possible so that they can, become the best version of themselves. I don't care about this
Right.
credit. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. And I think,
Right.
a lot of times in relationships, when there's a divorce or a breakup or a kid is birthed out of wedlock, it's mom against dad. Or I'm better. I'm the one that, did everything for you. It's not about that. It's not about gaining credit. It's what's best
Right.
for the child, bro. That's the most important thing.
Facts.
And I had a controversial take on it a while ago. I said I think black women who have kids out of wedlock are more detrimental to the black community than gang banging and drug
Mm.
because they are the ones that create the gang bangers, the drug dealers, the pimps, all of that shit.
Facts.
Like we know that, bro. We
Facts.
know the fuck, yo, bro. We know the reasons. What's the solutions? And every time we call it out, people start to feel sensitive about it. Oh, you're attacking me. If the shoe fits, wear that shit. Because I have data to back up everything that I'm saying as far as where to point the fingers.
Facts. And the worst thing you want is a grown man who can't control his emotions because he goes wild. If you what you're really seeing is a woman in a man's body, and that is dangerous. You get what I'm saying? Now he has the strength of a man and the emotions of a woman. He's tearing shit down.
Facts. And guess what, too? If you're a young man and you only see conflict resolution from women, you see a woman put her emotions on the forefront. That's okay. That's a woman. She's allowed to do that. But as a man, you can't get away with the same shit that women get away with when they're angry. Cannot,
Facts.
cannot. And also, too, I think
Facts.
that's another reason why these young black men in the ghettos are so passionate about fashion and shit like that. It's like
Yeah.
it's one thing to look nice and present yourself, but they're overly doing it with
Obsessed.
obsessed, like with the accessories and shit like that. Is because they've seen how their mom behaves and how they present themselves, and they never seen true masculinity, so they get caught up into how a woman lives their life, and they forget that I'm a man. So they see their mother yelling and screaming and getting loud and ready to fight and act unbecoming of what a mature adult should act like in the street, and then they get sucked up into
Facts.
that. This is why you see young boys right
Facts.
now over a look. You looked at me, I'm gonna shoot you. Gonna do possibly
What you getting at?
25 years in fucking prison because somebody said something to you. Somebody looked at you the wrong way. They stepped on your shoe. That shit is crazy.
Banana.
They
It's crazy
they
work.
have the temperament of a non-masculine being, but with the physical frame of a man. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly what
That's
I
that's
just
a
said,
recipe,
bro.
that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. So, that leads to the question. This is how we answer it.
Facts.
Do black women really love their children? The answer is
Oh,
no, because love equates to duty. Duty means you're going to do right and what's necessary, regardless if you like it or not. So, um, I say no.
I say, I
What you
say, I
say, bro?
say, prove me wrong. If that's the case, if you
Mm.
do
Yeah,
love your children, show me you do by getting married to the
right.
fucking man that you have kids with, by picking.
Mm-hmm.
And even if women say men need to be better, cool, I agree. Men do need to be better, but at the same time, don't pick the men that need to be better. Pick the men that are better.
Right. And who's raising these
Who's raising
children?
them? Who's raising them? Oh, and the men that women say need to do better is being raised by single parents, which is the mom 9 times out of
Women.
10. Facts.
Yep.
So I think that was a good question that you posed, all, and I think that shit needs to be addressed further and more in depth. We're gonna talk about this again, but I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think so. And if you think so, prove me wrong. That's what I'm gonna say about it.
Summed it
Yes,
up,
sir.
man. All right, yo. Appreciate y'all people. Pre- yes, sir. Love you, God.